Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is supposedly running an independent campaign for president, even though his biggest donor is the biggest donor to Donald Trump. Well, today, this video dropped of a phone call between Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump that was shot by Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s son, that was uploaded to the internet. Now, Kennedy Jr. has apologized for this leak, but thank goodness we now know exactly where he stands. Listen to this.
I agree with you, man. Something's wrong with that whole system. And, it's the doctors you find. Remember I said I want to do small doses. Small doses. When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that is like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it, right? It's this massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do something. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. We're way ahead of the guy. And, he's interesting. It was very nice, actually. He called me. And he said, how did you choose to move to the right? So I guess that's, people say, if I was looking straight on, right? He said, I said, I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country, right? But I would just turn my head to show the chart. And something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the world's largest mosquito. And it was a bullet going around. What do they call that, an AR-15 or something? That's a big gun. Those are pretty tough guns, right?
All right, so that was that call there. What's interesting there, Mustafa, you hear Trump say, we're going to win. Kennedy goes, yeah. He offers Kennedy a job in his administration. I'm sorry, I thought Kennedy was also running for president. This is a con. It is a fraud. A vote for Robert Kennedy is a vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, we know that Kennedy wasn't serious. He didn't build the infrastructure that would be necessary to even be able to mount a real run. So, I'm for anybody who wants to run, you should have the ability to do it. But we should also use our brains to be able to evaluate if somebody has a serious chance, because our vote is incredibly important and it is incredibly valuable, and we shouldn't just give it away. I say folks should have to earn it, but we should also understand who has the ability to actually be a viable candidate or not. The other thing is that even though people say Trump's not smart, and yeah, he does some really incredible stupid things, he also knows what buttons to push with individuals that flatters them, that makes them feel like they also, have the intelligence to have a conversation with him. And of course, for Kennedy, it is his long-standing, sets of conversations and actions around vaccines. So he pulls you in and makes you think that he actually values who you are and the things that you care about, and that he's an advocate there for you. And all along, he's playing you. So I'm just amazed that people are always sort of reeled in to this type of foolishness. But, folks have choices. And of course, we understand that Kennedy is supposed to be a spoiler. And they understand that they only have to carve off certain percentages from each sets of communities to be able to be competitive. So folks just understand the game.
And Larry, listen, go to my iPad, Elise. Look, you see it right here. Republican donors, secretive groups are the ones trying to get Cornel West and Robert Kennedy on state ballots.
Yeah, so we know that, Roland, these elections at the federal level are one, based on been outlined, right? It's outliers. You look at all these individuals, some of these low propensity voters, individuals don't vote every 4 to 2 years. They just carve out a small percentage in states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, et cetera, and that gets you the win. I think the other thing is you keep alive with Kennedy is from that, obviously we just see this recording and we know from him, he's an op. It's just that simple. I think the other thing is what's going to end up happening is it won't be a joke if he's in charge of the Office of Infectious Diseases or the FDA or some other important agency that really has a day-to-day impact on your lives. So the recording just reinforces everything we know about Kennedy. And if, like I said, once again, you better get out the vote, because I know we've been talking about Project 2025, but the policies they have planned for us, and as it relates to infectious diseases, vaccines, et cetera, listen, we just overcame a pandemic. And so we can't have like diseases like polio and other diseases that we essentially have gotten rid of here in the United States, allow those diseases to come back. And then we have to deal with children and other individuals who are negatively impacted.
Niambi?
I think Larry and Mustafa are right on with this. I mean, this conversation Donald Trump has been having for quite some time. He even, I think a few weeks ago, referred to Cornel West as his favorite because he takes 100% from Joe Biden and nothing from him. So these people are definitely there to move the needle. And as everyone's rightly pointed out, it doesn't mean that they have to take large swaths of the population, just enough to make the Joe Biden presidency less viable. And I think when we talk about someone like a Kennedy, who I think from the beginning, whose own family has said that he is not fit to be president, has come on the scene, there were lots of problems with his views. And when we think about just what he's had to say about COVID and vaccines more generally, when we think about the lives of Black people that have been lost, because many of us serve as the first line. We work in grocery stores as cashiers. We're bus drivers, right? We're those people. We're CNAs. Our lives are going to be severely impacted by a person like a Kennedy who doesn't believe in vaccines, considers them to be dangerous. And these people ultimately are seeking policies that are going to hurt us, because what people have to remember, all of these men are wealthy men. RFK is going to be fine when all is said and done. It's us that are going to pay the price for a person like him. So even entertaining him, giving him a modicum of credibility is dangerous. And he is already setting himself up to land softly, no matter whether Donald Trump wins or not. And like you said, he's clearly not campaigning to win. He hasn't really done anything to show he wants to win. He wants a position. And I think that person is more dangerous than a person who's sort of going it alone.